Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're joined with the maker of one of my favorite games on App Lab. We're joined with Ben Olding, the maker of Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu. Again, it's one of the best games on App Lab. This is actually the second time we're joined with Ben Olding.
I think we're seeing the end of this game being on App Lab.
I don't see how...
We can talk about that later.
Yeah, even before the most recent update, which we'll get into, which we've been a big fan of, I thought it should have been on the official store, but you know, he recently pumped out a multiplayer update that's in beta. It's important to say it's still in the works, but it's like when this is done, I don't know how you can justify it not being on the store.
Then again, I'll save a little back, but it was a game changer for you and I for playing it.
100%
absolute game changer.
It was our only request when we reviewed it, you know, because the game is great as is. Even without this, it's one of the best hand-to-hand fighting games. It's kung fu. It's beautiful. It's got the most beautiful amount of jank. That's what I always say, but it's so well done. And it was like, if a multiplayer could be added, it would be next level. And last time we talked with Ben, he was like
10 and a half months ago.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, it's something I'm working on a bit, but don't expect it anytime soon. And here we are 10 months later, and it's in beta. So before I get carried away, Ben, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit more about who you are and also what the hell the game that we're talking about is?
So yeah, hi, I'm Ben, so maker of Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu, which is a game we started in 2020 and then released on Steam. I can't remember when, maybe early 23, and later on App Lab on the Quest. And it's like my first full VR game, but I've made lots of other games in the past, mainly Flash games, and yeah, loving every minute of it. Well, maybe not every minute, but stressful at times. Yeah, privileged to be on the show. So thank you.
No problem. It's glad to have you on, especially it's timely with this update, you know.
It's perfect timing.
We've seen other boxing games in VR, you know, that's a not a common thing, but there's other ones, but there's no game that does kung fu. And in this game you can punch, you can slap,
you can eye poke,
kick,
punch to the throat, the belly,
jump, come raining down,
kick the legs, the midsection or the face.
Yeah, your fave, I've seen you come down raining with a giant hand
and just drop. Yeah.
It's something we talked about. And yeah, that's it. He's good with it. And it's something we talked about in the last interview. You know, we won't do a complete rehash of it, but for anybody that hasn't played Dragon Fist VR, there's 40 different characters, each with their own backstory that's all inspired from
each with their own personality. No repeats.
Yeah, and kind of strengths, weaknesses, you know, special moves, and they're all inspired from, you know, classic kung fu movies. So you've been using Clayton.
Oh, the boxer, yeah, man. Dude's beast. I'm just praying he never gets nerfed because I feel like he's just quicker than most of the other characters. He can dodge out of the way really good.
Yeah. So what's it been
probably,
like?
I was going to say, it's probably a psychological thing. You probably play as him and get fired up. And
100%. When we pick a character, we're getting in character.
I'm a little over the top with.
You should see him. He's pumping out the jab, showing them the jab, showing them the
talking
jab.
Shit the whole time.
Yeah. So before we go completely on a rant, you know, what was it like getting this multiplayer mode up and running from the last time we talked with you?
Oh, it's been hard work, and it's still lots of hard work to come. But on the other hand, it's a lot of fun. You know, it's fun for me when we test it, and you know, I've mentioned before, played with my wife, but now that we've got a small team working on the game, you know, we have kind of a weekly play test where we always like go and have a go. So the 3D artists can go and have a look at the work they're doing, and we'll go and explore the scenery and have a scrap. And, you know, it's just, you know, I think it gives us all a boost every week, you know. Reminds me it's actually fun, you know. I spend I spent the last few days worrying about people not spawning and people getting disconnected nicely and things like that. And that's not much fun. But when you get in there and have a fight and, you know, throw a few plates around and that kind of thing, you know, then reminds me that the game is fun. And your video that you posted the other day, that really gave me a confidence boost as well, you know. So thank you for that.
No, we've been loving it, and
we're still playing it. So
yeah, it's one of those like, hey, we got 30 minutes left in our play session. Let's go bang out a couple missions in Dragon Fist. But you have the experience in Flash games. Dragon Fist VR. I say it has a beautiful amount of jank, but it's a very well polished game. But is this your first time, dealing with networking and that side of gaming?
Yeah, I've done a bit before, but nothing that's needed this kind of level of responsiveness. A lot of things that I've done before. Like I've got my other Steam game, which is called Starfighter, that has a sort of multiplayer, but it's that's like a space shooter, and if things aren't right to the millimeter, it doesn't matter so much, and that kind of thing. And also, there's the added thing of doing VR multiplayer is you can't wear two headsets and and fight yourself. So it's kind of quite hard to test, So I've got a kind of set up where I can control it by keyboard, and they just kind of come in like robots, and but it's never quite the true experience. But like I say, when I get in there, in this world I've made with other people, you can share it, and that just makes it a lot more of a social experience, which I think everyone wants VR to be.
So to test it, you really need to unleash it to the public and let them get, like you said, the headaches yesterday, or last week, the bugs or the disconnects or whatever. The only way to get that experience for you, since you need somebody else to do it with, is
exactly. So you don't know what a real person's going to do, and when I test it, I'll fire up one game, fire up another. I'll do everything properly, whereas they're coming in and out and trying to cheat and do all kinds of things. Even in the testing, there's been some sort of trollage, some trolls, and in a way that's good testing as well. Hopefully we can kind of get good anti-troll measures in early on before it gets too big. People abandoning other people's matches and things like that. I had a button there, abandon match. You think nice handy feature, but then someone will come in, abandon someone else's game, and then leave, just to be annoying.
Yeah, we've seen many games where, example, we were playing Dungeons of Eternity, and you go on these pillars, and you sit there for 5 seconds, and then that's when you load in the map, and you start jumping up and down, and you're like, oh yeah, you could totally
resets the timer
every time you jump. So you let that shit go down to 1 and jump, and you're like, you could definitely ruin a whole group's time just being that guy. So unfortunately, as devs, you don't think to be, I guess, the asshole, but you need to unleash it to the public and let one person be the asshole, and then you go, okay, now I need to fix that. And that's why it's in beta, though. So that's the things that you find when you put it in the wild.
I will say, though, we've not had any. I mean, granted, we're only playing with each other, but there's been no issues. I mean, all the mechanics seem to work. I haven't been kicked out. I
think that there's one map we had some frame rate drop on,
maybe,
but it really wasn't bad. And no, I mean, I expected when it came out in beta, I thought it was going to be extremely limited, and I thought it was going to be very buggy, but that has been the opposite experience.
I have to keep reminding myself it's in beta, to be honest with you.
And what's cool about this is you gave people 2 ways to enjoy it. For people that already own the game, if you go into the Quest store and you go into the version and you switch it to beta, you get, access to all 40 of the characters in the multiplayer, pretty much a full campaign right now. I'm sure maybe you can comment if that is the full campaign and stuff, but it looks like it. And you get quite a bit of content, but then you also have a free version that for people that don't own the game, they can experience the multiplayer in beta. They just have to go on your Discord, get the secret code for that week or a couple weeks.
It's every week.
Every week, and then it changes which characters and maps available and stuff like that. Was the reason you did the free version with rotating content just to get more feedback and more, I guess, bug testing out there?
Yeah, but a few things really. I mean, we wanted to get a nice community going, so it's a good way of getting people involved and in there. So having the password means that people have to get involved with the community in order to be able to play the game. I mean, people can just go and stay there and get the password if they want. I'm not going to be cross about it, but I it helps build up a community where people can arrange to meet to play with each other, rather than it just existing in the wild and them having to get lucky with when they go on. People can arrange times and stuff like that. But the community's growing quite quickly, so hopefully there's and there's definitely more people playing now than there was a few weeks ago. We the sort of maid game, it kind of died down a bit. It was released a while ago, so this was a way of kind of restoking the flame, if you like, to get more players in, and going well so far.
Well, I mean, it worked for me.
Yeah.
Well, that was the only thing we had wished, is there was some form of.
I think we'd even said it when we reviewed it, that after you beat the campaign, you might stop playing. But if it had multiplayer,
you'd probably keep playing. But it just doesn't have multiplayer. It's got co-op. So,
that's how we enjoy it. And that's an important thing to say. When we talk about the multiplayer, we talk mainly about the co-op, because that's how we go and play. We like to do the campaign together. To me, kicking ass, kung fu kick ass with my dad, it's the funniest thing. Like I said, he's going in there hammering with Clay, and I'm usually the default first character. I always forget his name.
The monk.
Yeah.
Ling Hao.
Ling Hao. That's always my homie. I don't know why I like to start with the default dude and build from there. So I'm always him. And one time I was the super big guy.
Oh, the monsters.
Yeah.
But Hercules.
Hercules. I'm not surprised, because the bigger you are, the more target you have available. I got my ass kicked as Hercules.
He walks a bit slower than the others, to make up for his longer range and reach. So he moves around a bit slower.
I guess I kind of play to the character a little too much.
I definitely do.
So like if I'm him, I'm like throwing clothesline fists and stuff too. So maybe if I went out pumping jabs and straight, I would have done better. But I'm like, how would Hercules fight?
I play so much better as the boxer than like the character that I love is the traditional like kung fu movie. The guy with the long white hair and has a beard. I'm like, that's the dude. He's badass, but I just don't do well with him. So I go to the boxer, and then I change my persona, I guess, and then do much better.
So, it's got the co-op, and that's how we play. You can do 2v2 against other players too. So you could even do like some cooperative play there, but it also has PvP. There's like free for all 1v1. So for yourself, which side do you like to play more? Do you like to play cooperatively, or do you like to go more the PvP side?
I like all of it. I think it depends who I'm playing with, really. But the thing I do like, which kind of wasn't really planned but came out of it, is when you've got like 8 people in a game, and then you can do like arcade mode, and you'll have 2 people fighting, and then the rest will be watching in the third, the small view, the third person view. And then when someone gets knocked out, someone else jumps in. So you have like a bit of a kind of party mode, which I think's good.
I haven't even tried that yet.
It's because we don't do the PvP.
8 people, that's a Discord night right there. We could totally host a little
especially because the
spectator view.
Spectator view is the shit. I sometimes wish, and I think we even said it the last time we spoke with Ben, would be the ability to play it in spectator view.
You can.
Well, yeah,
but you can't walk around.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
Yeah.
You're like kind of but sometimes I'll go third person just to.
But it's absolutely awesome to watch.
But if you get knocked down in co-op while your partner's still up, you go spectator. So sometimes and you can even do like a little like. Does that do damage when you do the little?
The laser pointer. I put that in because during our test, sometimes you want to point something out. You want to say, "I'll go over there," and like you had no way of doing it. You're just like a invisible god, aren't you, when you're in spectator mode? So so I put that in as a way of pointing stuff. But it's quite fun just lasering people in the eyes, isn't it? And on the lobby, one of the other buttons will launch like a ninja star or one of the projectiles from the spectator view. So you can do some good trolling with that. But I had to switch it off for in the matches because people were ruining other people's matches with it.
So when you're doing that 8-person arcade and you knock somebody out and a new person goes in, do you keep the same damage that you had from the last match, or is it full health for each new match?
Well, in the arcade mode, it's a bit like the arcade mode in single player. Everyone's got, well, when you do it in single player, you've got full health, and then you fight an enemy that's got a 10% health or 5% health, and then you knock them out, and then the next person's got a bit more. It's kind of like that, except you all start with low health, and then when the next person comes in, they've got a bit more. So yeah, so there's lots of knockouts going on, and you can do the vertigo mode as well in a similar fashion. You've seen, which is the one it's on a raised platform, so you win by knocking them off the platform rather than the usual knockout. So you can do that in the same way. You knock someone off, and then someone else will tag in.
It's like sumo.
Yeah, it is a bit,
with gravity.
Yeah,
but
striking
sumo with gravity. Yeah,
yeah, and a very violent sumo. Not that sumo is not violent, but there's no striking. And this, you'll be.
There's no comparison to what's going on here. Mm-hmm. Punching people in the throat and in the eyeball.
Yeah,
I don't think that flies.
And what's the community response been, or the reception been since releasing it?
Yeah, it's been more positive than I was expecting. There is lots of problems. People are finding lots, and I'm desperately trying to fix them all.
It's beta.
Yeah, it is. And you're very kind about it. I think there are definitely problems with it. I think people don't always notice them, so maybe it doesn't matter so much. But it's definitely a lot that I want to improve. Once I got people sort of spawning properly, I'm going to try and. There's things like, in the PvP, you're playing more co-op, but in PvP at the moment, it's quite hard to block versus the single player. Single player, you always see, you learn the attacks they're doing, you learn to counter them. But in PvP, people are just wildly flailing, or you don't get you don't learn their moves in the same way. So, and it's all a lot faster. So I want to make it easier to block and. Various other improvements, and in co-op mode there are. I think co-op mode works pretty well. You'll get the odd bit where they'll suddenly wildly flail about. I don't know if you've noticed. Is that where they'll suddenly go, way, or that kind of thing? No, okay.
I haven't had that happen yet. We've been able to mess with them with getting them to constantly look away, not look away, but you hit him. Now he's focused on you. Now I'm going to run up behind him and
punch him.
Yeah, right for the back of the head. Then maybe he follows me. Now you're going to hit him in the back of the head.
We try to gang up on one and and we bum rush him too a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just bum rush the hell out of him. You might take a hit, but you're gonna. I love beating them all the way back across the area. Though.
I need to make them more sort of spatially aware. Their sort of AI is basically the same as single player. They're not very good at dealing with two in the same way, so I could probably do with making them a bit cleverer, but
you can tell you're such a perfectionist with it. We're having so much fun with it, and you're like, there's so much I want
to sorry to be negative. I've just been on it so much, and,
but that's why it's a good product. If you saddled with it's good enough, we wouldn't even be at this point. You would have stopped working on Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu. Is very good if you were the type to settle with it, but you had the multiplayer. Seems pretty dead set that it was going to happen.
I'm really glad, not just selfishly because we wanted multiplayer or co-op, but only because of the amount of characters and knowing that the last time we talked, you literally have a backstory for every single character you can pick in that
much
game.
Work into it.
So it's not like, that's 40 different stories of lore if you get technically each telling their own story.
Unique character models, dude, it's intense.
So I could see whatever it takes to keep people to keep playing it just for the sheer amount of work that went into that.
You don't want we are doing more work in it still, but you don't want to get to the end of it and everyone's bored of it before we finished it, but the multiplayer is a good thing to keep things going. And as I mentioned, we've got some people working on it now. So the character models, so the ones you can currently see were all done by me. But now I've got a guy called Alex, who's a 3D character artist, who's currently battling through all, it was a big task for him. Oh, yeah, you've got to do 50 character models, and he's currently doing it. But yeah, he's doing well. And then we've got 2 environment artists as well, so all of the levels are getting a makeover, and they've done some really, really nice things.
Oh, so, yeah. My goodness!
So last time we spoke, was it just the team of you, or was it? I feel like it was.
Yeah, I think so. I think at the time we've just got some promise of investment into it to help with this. So at the time, I think I was probably hinting at these things, but not committing because, it was going to be a bit dependent on, if we've got some investment into it. Now we've got that, and probably since then recruited all these people. It's like, we've got, who else we got? We've got Leo doing the environment artists are Sam and Ian. And then I've got Leo, who's done a full soundtrack, which will be present, which isn't in there yet. It will be there for the relaunch. And 2 writers. So all those backstories I did, I've had these writers going through with a fine-tooth comb and pointing out all the glaring errors I made.
So when you say relaunch, can we expect, and you have these environmental artists, the character models being overhauled? Are we going to see a full graphical overhaul and I guess aesthetics overhaul with the sound too?
Pretty much, yeah. But wow. we're gonna wait till that's all done. You can't have half the levels new and half of them. Although saying that, in the current version, when you go into the multiplayer lobby, that bit with the water and it's got a mini assault course and all of that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But the multiplayer lobby.
The multiplayer lobby, yeah. Okay, so that's the example of the new graphics. So the new artist did that rather than my own. Although,
wow, because I never thought that the graphics were bad.
Mm-mm.
And if we're getting them all the character models enhanced, all the text
just in time for the Quest 3
and relaunch. So are you going to do like a 2.0 and it stays on App Lab, or I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this or if this is even something in the works, but is it going to the official store with a relaunch?
Well, when we talked to Meta in the past, they were very keen to see multiplayer. So nothing to announce, but hopefully if we get multiplayer in and it gets polished, then maybe they'll take another look at it.
I don't see how you could deny it at this point. And I mean, I already see you in your Discord, you're scheduling really good with the community events. You're doing like tournaments and stuff like that. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what you have going in the Discord for?
Well, I've got some people helping with that now. So like the publisher, so Brandon, it's Brandon's idea, this whole playtest thing. For me, if it was up to me, I'm just hiding my cave and keep quiet. But he was like, no, we've got to get it out there. So he's out there and
get it in the wild.
Yeah, and members of the community are helping organise the tournaments and things like that. I've had not much to do with it really. So all credit to the community.
I know that feeling. Our Discord is pretty much just, it's like the mods in there, they do a great job. They'll schedule meetups and events.
They have it under wraps.
Yeah. But if people are playing this and you're like, all right, I want to play competitively, but I don't really have other people to play with, go check out the Dragon Fist VR Discord where you're getting the secret code to play it for free if you are.
Well, now it has like tournament value and
you can see it. You can see the value in it. League play.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah, the community's going to be huge for it. And they're theoretically the ones that are going to be the ones looking for tournament play, and it's just too funny.
And do you have more of an even grander vision with the multiplayer of like tracking stats and wins and stuff like that, or are you just trying to get what you have in front of you done and go from there?
Yeah, well, I like the idea of tracking some wins and keeping some kind of score, but I think I wouldn't want to do it before I feel it's good enough, because at the moment, because you'll get your points at the moment probably via spamming or or I don't know. I don't want to do any disservice to the players either, but I just think I want to make sure all the physics is right and everything's right before I do that. And also I'll see what people want. If people want that, then I'll add it. I think often the players come up with good ideas based on their experience. So I'll probably just listen to them.
Mm-hmm. Is dealing with like the spamming, it sounds like definitely been the biggest, gameplay balance challenge so far.
I mean, yes. I mean, I wouldn't say I've completely sorted it yet. I think it's because the gameplay was obviously designed around the single player. So a lot of the physics was around single player, and like I was saying earlier about it's hard. People don't telegraph their hits as much as my characters did. So I think I need to make it so it's a bit easier to block. So I'm going to make the arms a bit stronger. And another thing that's kind of bothering me is that when you move around with a thumbstick, you can move around fairly quickly. And when there's two of you moving around quickly and running, it becomes quite hard to hit them because they're darting about everywhere. And maybe that's okay, but I'm not sure. It's work in progress.
That has an effect on my play style.
Yeah, that's how you.
I'll go in, I'll drop like a straight left, and then back out, and then come back. Usually a couple more lefts, back out, come back in, throw a right.
So you can totally see how it's going. Like why people.
Yeah, because I mean, I know.
Guilty.
I know my guys.
But I think that's a good tactic. I think that's fine. I mean, it's part of what I wanted in the game was it to be about the sort of distance, rather than just being about standing there and blocking. You might want to play a long range style or a dart in and out style. This is very kung fu. They have different approaches, and I want you to be able to use your different approaches. So if you want a kind of hit and run tactic, I think that should be fine. It's just I think it just needs a bit of balancing. That's all it is. Yeah.
I think you're very, very critical of your own work.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been very critical today. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Just being hard.
It's a good trait to definitely as a developer. We've actually spoken to some that like had held off on their own work just because of their own self-criticism of it, even though there was nothing really wrong with it. It just in their minds, and I get it. It's your child. You'll see what's.
Well, I have a feeling it's probably good for you psychologically to have people playing this, because if it was only you had seen it, you would probably be like, "This is so bad. This is crap."
Yeah.
Nobody would know that it's so good. So it's definitely good. It's in the wild.
Far from it.
It does help. It does help. Yeah, people's enthusiasm really helps fuel it. And yeah, I have days where I think, oh, it's awful. Who would like this? But then people do like it. But then I have other days where I'm playing it and thinking, oh, it's amazing. Who could not like this?
Yeah, no, for me, it's what I've been. It's a good workout too. It's
I was
fun.
going to bring that up. You can potentially. There was one night I think we did like 5 of them in a row, and I was getting real animated, a little over that, and I was just pouring sweat.
Summer's ending, so it's like that was the biggest limitation sometimes with working or playing these type of games in VR in the summer.
Yeah,
I think your air conditioning system in your house went out.
Yeah,
2 of the days we were playing.
It was out for 3 days.
You're like, yo, I can do 2 rounds. That's it.
That's it.
But winter's coming. We're about to put in work on this. So the fitness side is there too. But from a technical standpoint, when you're working on something like the PvP mode, are you able to make the engine, I guess, work one way specific with that game mode, but not the others? Like, example, have more repercussions for swinging heavy just in the PvP mode, or is it? That's
I probably could. Yeah, I'll just have to experiment with it. I think I come up with an idea about something and then I'll give it a go, and then sometimes you just have to scrap the whole idea. But the only real way is just to try it and see how it feels, really. So yeah, I think I will try that. I think if it's a human opponent, then the physics might be different to if it's a AI opponent, or it might not. I'll just try both, see what feels best.
Or come to find out, consumer feedback, people like the spam. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I remember with the original game, I was worried about the easy difficulty, thinking, I was looking at the logs. I was keeping logs at the time, and you could see people were like blitzing through easy mode, and I was worried about that. But then it turns out that some people don't want to find it difficult. They want to just
They want to feel like an action movie.
Exactly. So in a way, you think, well, why should I put a stop to that?
Yeah, the way my brain goes for multiplayer, it's like, oh, you want it as realistic, as close to a real fight as possible, but maybe that's not even what everybody else, like the masses, want.
Yeah, well, I always think with this game, it's not as realistic as some of the other, like the boxing games you mentioned, but I don't know. I just think I'll do what feels good, So when you hit someone in this game and they go flying, that's fun. Why put stop to that? I think, well, maybe they wouldn't in real life, but in a kung fu movie they might. So I'm trying to get a balance, of between fun arcade game, fantasy kung fu master versus realistic. But not necessarily realistic, but get that feeling of having a fight, or with doing some kung fu sparring.
Yeah, when I should specify, when I said realistic, I meant maybe in like fighting tactics, but definitely the things like people going flying, you hit them perfect and they just launch. That's what makes the game so special. I think if something like that was ever taken out, it would definitely ruin a lot about what makes Dragon Fist so special. You feel like you're in a kung fu movie, the whole aesthetic of it.
When I see the slow-mo mode get activated and I hear the sound effect, I know I did good. Like that was the perfect.
Or even activated on you.
Yeah, no, I like the feeling of hitting someone and it going to slow-mo. But yeah, it's not for everyone, but there's the realism mode in the game that has that disabled, and options for people that want a bit more of a realistic experience. I mean, you mentioned about the Quest 3. There's one thing I've been toying with. Again, I'm not going to promise, but like that's got the kind of mixed reality thing. And, I wondered about doing a mixed reality mode. But of course, that's going to be, that's going to be limited to the confines of your room. And I don't see this room. This room's not very big. So it might be hard. And it might not work, but
fighting kung fu
in your living room.
Yeah.
I'm down.
And then that brings up the question of, you saw Demio bring up, or not bring up, but Demio now added co-location. Of course, you're stationary playing Demio. It's much different than playing Kung Fu, but it's like, oh, could you imagine this co-location? Maybe a little hazard.
So you mean as in someone, so sort of multiplayer in different rooms, but it being like they're in the same room? Or do you mean both in the same room?
Both in the same room.
Yeah, well, then you're just having a fight.
I meant more for the co-op, not against each other.
Okay, yeah,
Definitely not against each other. At that point, yeah, just take out.
Then you're just having a fight. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to get too into it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, this is the one game that it's like
I've punched the ground and for no reason either, because there's no reason for me to squat down and punch a knockdown NPC other than for comic value.
Yeah, this guy loves the follow-up shots, dude. I'll see you just sitting there just...
Oh, yeah, so I'll get down on the ground and just start drilling. And because I've whapped the controller so good, like getting carried away, now I just do the stomps, like kick them in the head when they're...
Oh, yeah,
and they'll even tell you, like, back away so they can get up. I'm just gonna sit here and keep hitting you. And if they're getting up and I can try to time a quick punch just as they're like they're not prepared, then even better. Nah, man, I've been laughing my ass off playing this game. Just laughing, just having legit having fun. And the first time we were playing the multi, and I think I did, you even have the tape footage of it, of when I was jumping in the air and raining the fist down and knocked him down and then like kicked him and
did some karate chops.
Holy shit, I lost it.
Yeah.
It was too funny.
It's important to say that's why I love the co-op so much, is every single time we've played, we're in tears.
Well, and what's also happening now is we've got an extra amount of time, let's play it. And then it's this has happened a couple of times. We've accidentally started a new round, right?
Oh, I don't know how that happened.
I accidentally punched it, and it's like, well, it started. It's only going to take a couple of minutes.
Start throwing overhand.
Yeah,
so it's becoming the just one more round game.
Yeah, well, I think that was part of the design. Not too long a fight that you feel exhausted after. Just a little taster, so you can do one more, or or not,
Yeah, it worked.
And do you ever film yourself playing to see if what it looks like in real life matches what you think is going on? Because how I think I'm playing it maybe doesn't actually match.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I think probably I'd regret it if I did. Probably wouldn't look as cool as I thought.
Yeah, this is the one game that it's like, I don't know if I could trust myself with full body tracking. I want it so bad.
No, hell no,
yeah.
dude.
But I'll be
throwing real kicks?
Yeah.
No.
Because I know I would. I'd be throwing crane kicks and stuff like that.
No. The leg reach is far greater than the arm. You'd be throwing side kicks and shit.
Well, you're pretty good with the down kick. You?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're pretty good at it. We I don't know how I did the whole single player campaign and didn't really get good at this. Maybe I did learn it and I just forgot because it's been so long, and then we went back in the multiplayer. But it's like based off of where you're looking is where you kick. That's a really nice mechanic.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to, doesn't it? I think but I think it's just something you have to kind of learn about the game. I didn't want the kicks to be too easy, otherwise it's just pressing a button and then you win.
Mm-hmm.
So the kicks have to be used tactically. Use them at the right range, and you have to point your head at the spot. The center of your view is like your crosshair, if you like. But with the full body tracking, I've got that in the Steam version, of course. And you'd think it would make it easier, but it makes it a lot more tiring when you actually have to do all the when you're doing all those crane kicks and things yourself. And I've kicked this desk so many times doing that, and it's a hazard. But I need a bigger house, really.
Space Pirate Trainer space for me to go completely crazy on this. No, I'm good. I'm good with the limitations of the fist. Yeah, of just having to be upper bodied.
It's just because you get so into it. The game is...
Yeah, I get too into it.
The game is fun, so...
And I guarantee if we taped ourselves, we'd look like complete idiots.
100%. And do you have a character that you defaultly go to?
I like to mix it up. Like you're saying about how you play as Clayton, I quite like to sort of pick one at random. I've added that random button. Pick one at random, and then I'll try and fight in the style of the... I let the game dictate my fighting style to me, if you like rather than
that's
me
actually
choosing
really fun.
It's a good idea. Fight style lottery. Yeah, that's actually fun.
Yeah, well, after you played it a lot, then you just you have to find ways of keep. I've been playing this since 2020 now, so got to keep it interesting.
And still playing. No, I do find playing as the fight style is important.
Mm-hmm. It adds to it.
Like if I try to be just a boxer with any of the other characters, I don't feel I do as well. There's a couple I think I can do all right, but
not like Clayton.
Clayton's the man.
And
for boxing.
I know you said you're letting Brandon mostly handle like the community events and stuff, but do you play against the community ever?
I haven't too much. I should do, but I just feel like I'm always hard at
working on it.
Yeah.
That's probably for the better, though.
Yeah, well, I did the first day. When it went out, I was feeling quite nervous, and I went and jumped in with a game with people then, and that was quite. They didn't know I was in there. They can, I don't know if they knew it was me or not, but it was quite fun watching them reacting to seeing the game the first time. Because I was like in there watching them go, oh wow, you can pick up these knives and stuff like that. That was really good. It was exciting.
That's
awesome.
I
should go in more.
Well, it's not like a 20-person team and you have 100 things that you want to improve on the game. I think it's better for everybody if those things get worked on as much as
there'll be time
to play.
For Ben going in kicking ass when it's
when it's fully out. And do you have like with no hard set date, but do you have an ideal timeline of when you'd like to see, the relaunch with multiplayer and stuff like that?
Yeah, we've got it kind of penciled in for sort of February, around that kind of time, February, March. Not sure exactly when. It will depend, but yeah, probably not before Christmas, and probably not straight after Christmas because no one's got any money left.
That's a good time.
But then, maybe kind of, but it'll be dependent on everything. Being done.
Yeah, no, that's not too far away though. I mean, February.
No,
comes
I was
quick.
pretty shocked. I'm like, all right, that works for me.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have thought that the multiplayer would already be out now. I mean, in beta at this stage.
To the magnitude. I wasn't shocked about the multiplayer.
We thought it was going to be so much more bare bones.
The one that is currently, we'll say the one you can go into Discord and get the code for. That's what I thought it was really going to be, not the full scale that it is.
Yeah, when you were like already this much, what the hell?
I go, oh my God, dude.
And are you able to get any metric? Do you know which game modes players are going to the most, whether that's PvP, co-op? Do you know which one's the most popular?
I'm not sure. I haven't got any concrete stats. I've got some stats, but I haven't added them together. And yeah, I'm not sure if I've logged the actual mode, but I should do. It's a good idea. The feeling I get is more people are doing PvP, but I think I think both are important. They're different. Like I say, I think it depends who you play with. If I'm playing with my wife, I'd probably be more inclined to do co-op, whereas if it's the team, then a good PvP. If you've got 8 people, then PvP is quite fun. The co-op in 8 player at the moment is basically 2 people do a match and then another 2 people do the next match. And I might think about, it might be good. Like if one person gets knocked out, maybe another player could jump in. Then I'm not sure. I'll keep thinking about that, I think. Or maybe I'll put an option in to allow either.
So I'm curious, with your wife being either voluntarily played or has no choice to play,
main playtester.
I can only assume that you both have played each other. How good is your wife at?
Oh, she's very good. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, she's kind of used to me experimenting things, getting her to try various game contraptions and stuff like that. So she's kind of used to it, knows what to expect. And yeah.
And does she random as well too, or does she have a go-to character?
Well, the character, the Emma Harrison character in the game, I kind of originally kind of based that off my wife. Well, a kind of loose homage, if you like. They don't look quite the same, but yeah, I think
that's the blonde one, right?
The blonde one, yeah. My wife's blonde. I think of them as the same person.
I've definitely, unfortunately, KO'd her plenty of times in this game. I'll remember that next time I see you go to do follow-up shots on Miss Harrison over there.
Take a little beating.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. All right. It's just, I'll let her get off some shots real quick.
I'm not. Because in PvP, she probably kicked the shit out of you. So no, I'll show no mercy to an NPC.
Well, it's like definitely we're going to play the most in co-op campaign, but I could even see us doing competitive play against other teams of 2v2.
And I totally see that the numbers, if I were to speculate, would show more
on the competitive PvP side. 100%.
Yeah, because that's an area of gaming in itself that people just gear to. That's their jams. That's like, I don't care what the game is. If there's a competitive aspect,
correct,
and I can throw beatings for hours to people online, I'm going to do it.
Correct.
So it does open up a whole new, and I would say PvP for like competition, and then the co-op for the social.
But I think with a lot of VR games, you just think, I wish I could have someone in here with me. Even just doing the single player stuff, or even just watching. Because it's very very isolating being in VR, isn't it? So if you can have someone put a headset on and be there with you, then I think I just think loads of games I would have liked that option, or even just watching.
I've only seen a few thus far in VR that'll let you spectate during a match. There was the one
I love the spectator mode in this one too. It's so good.
Yeah, dude. The hell out, man.
Yeah.
If you can watch a whole match in that mode, that's the shit.
With your buddies in a group.
It's perfect.
I mean, it is funny watching when both the characters are other people, because we already have the spectator view where you could see yourself, but when the people are all others, or I've watched with the team, it's been like a 4-way match going on with just the spectating, and it's just great being able to watch it. I think that was one of my favourite features. It just was a surprise, really. The spectating. And that the lobby, with the assault course it's got going on and people throwing knives, it's quite fun just spectating in there, seeing everyone messing about in there, jumping off things and stuff.
Yeah, we beat the shit out of each other when we're just scoping stuff out.
Yeah,
before we officially start
unofficial PvP. We'll just be hanging in the lobby, or drop a little haymaker on the other.
I love playing with the gong.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot resist. I go out of my way to go over there and just start wailing on it.
But I agree with everything you said. It's like there's yet to be a single player game that I wish I couldn't do the campaign with the other person doing the same exact campaign alongside with me. And that's why this co-op mode checked the box so well, because it's like, well, there's the campaign mode that I loved in single player.
Yeah.
And now I get to do it. It's literally exactly how I wish I could have played the game the first time around. I get to do it again.
It's more emotionally fun to do it with somebody.
Have we ever not laughed?
No.
It's hilarious.
No, dude. Usually within the first 30 seconds. Before it starts, when we're facing off, I'm already talking shit.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going down.
And you've got legs done pretty good. I'm just going to say.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they're not Bojanglies.
No.
I'm going to resist being overly critical again of myself. But yeah, they're okay. They do the job, don't they? They do the job.
Hey, I need to kick. It kicks.
How big is your list of things that you want to improve? Because it sounds like legs is on there too.
It's never ending. It's never ending. Yeah, okay. I'm going to criticize myself. Well, it's like when you do the running in game. You can swing your arms to run. Don't know if you've spotted that feature. You aware of that?
I haven't really even ran.
You're talking to somebody that beat the whole campaign, has been playing multiplayer. I don't think I knew you could sprint like that. Yeah. Does it take away your stamina?
Not really, but it kind of commits you. So if you go charging, it's quite a bit hard to stop, like it would be. But the thing is, it was fine in single player. It worked because you're looking forward. You see your arms do that. But when someone runs in multiplayer, it looks hilarious. So I need to. Well, I don't know. It's not really anything that matters. It just looks ridiculous. But I might.
Not up to your standard, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's my fault for adding a feature like that. Every feature you add creates more issues.
Have you received any feedback on it from players,
or is this just you?
Hey,
yeah. To be honest, no one's mentioned it at all. Actually.
Okay, I had to dig deeper. I'm like, I don't think he's getting emails about like, I was playing your game in the running. It looked funny,
Yeah, well, that's true. It's true.
Go in the Discord and search for running. See if anybody's ever been critical.
I got to go in there and run. I've never had to run.
Yeah, there's so many little.
I'm usually just backing out and moving around in circles.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the game teaches you about like the eye pokes and the body hits and stuff like that.
Chops.
But there's so many things in the game to discover just through playing it.
Dude, how long have we been playing it? We just learned something.
Yeah. How many more little things are there?
50% embarrassed.
Well, I think I'm not sure. But I think things like that, you don't have to know them, do you? That's the thing. They're like an extra little thing. There's like a tip somewhere it tells you about it, but yeah, other features, none really spring to mind. I don't think. You can throw the bowls.
Yeah. He loves that. Hit him in the back of the head with them.
I can't help myself.
Bar fight style.
If there's a table and it's got a bowl on it and I can pick it. I like that there's the reaction of when you smash it. I'll get up close and just smash it over their head.
It's like small town Ohio move,
old Western movie style. I take that.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
And have you seen the secret levels? I probably told you about them last time. Two secret levels. 2 secret fights.
In the single player, or is it in the co-op as well? Probably just the single player, right?
I think they're in the co-op, but I've not tested it, so probably broken.
What are they? Are you at liberty to say, or would you prefer to stay secret?
Okay, well, one of them is a fight against the one-armed boxers, who you can play as in multiplayer, at the Shaolin Temple at night. So to get to that, there's a framed photo in the restaurant on one of the walls. So if you smash that before the fight, then you get to the Shaolin Temple at night. So there's one secret for you.
I freaking love that.
And the other one is, you've seen the practice room where you do this practice of special moves and things like that. Yep. So the other secret fight is similar thing. You break a picture at the Wing Chun school, and then it will take you to the practice room, and you'll get to actually have a fight against that guy rather than him just standing there as a. And yeah, he's got his own voice lines and stuff.
Do you have a soft spot as a gamer for Easter eggs and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I do.
I do too. I get it. It's nice.
It's fun. It's fun seeing the reaction. The other good one is the high priest, as in the sub boss. I mean, most people have you noticed he's in every level?
Like no. in the distance?
Yeah, like in the background
in the foreground. I didn't know it was in every level, but I've seen him in some of them.
Distinctly, I can recall him in a lot of levels.
Yeah, but I never made the connection. It was every single.
I think he's not at the Shaolin Temple. I think I never found a spot for him, but in every other one, he's there. So he's in the crowd in the boxing ring. He's looking through windows at the restaurant. He's he's not in the final boss level either because you've beaten him by then. If you see what I mean.
That makes sense. Lore wise, that would make sense that he's no longer. Kazasuke. He went home.
So one of his lines is, I've been watching you. I know all your tricks, and so that's his backstory. He has been watching you. So the idea is he's been spying on you, so he learns all your moves so that he can beat you. But
much to his dismay, he lost that one.
I love the amount of detail that's truly gone into.
Dude, how can you?
It's one thing to have just a game. It's another thing to have a game with so much story behind it that isn't even being presented to you as a story individually like that.
When this multiplayer drops with, enhanced character models, environmentals changed, look at me in the eye and tell me it doesn't deserve to be on the official MetaQuest store. That's ridiculous. Like this should be there. It'll be top selling.
If I were a betting person, and this is gonna
top rated,
we're saying February, potentially
February, March. He said
2024. Then by July, I would think it would be
by summer of 2024.
Yeah.
If it's not by then, I don't know what's going on.
If it's not secretly already planned, anyways.
Yeah, there's no reason that this should. I said it back when it was single player.
There's nothing currently on the store. Oh, we probably said this almost a year ago, but there still isn't anything on the store that's comparable. It's brought its own unique element. Yes, there's other fighting games, but there's nothing to this degree of like, come on, man, look at the amount of characters.
So
why?
Is this the last
freaking many?
Is this the last thing that you want to add to Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu, or is there more features that you want to add in the future?
Well, I've got. I don't know if you saw the weapons in multiplayer. Did you see that mode?
I must have missed it.
Okay.
You go right to the campaign. It's funny the tunnel vision I get sometimes. I'm like, go up.
Yeah, so there are some weapons you can toggle the weapons on, and you can do the co-op with that. Do the co-op campaign with weapons, but the weapons are very much a work in progress themselves. What I'd like is for every character to have a weapon. So it'd be a separate mode. It'd be kind of the same thing, but everyone's got a weapon instead. and yes, but I've got maybe 15 weapons in there. It'd be nice if everyone had their own. I'd love to get spears in and staffs and things like that. But at the moment, they're one-handed weapons only, and there's a limited selection, and the physics could do with improvement. But yeah, check them out next time you have a go.
Oh, probably tonight.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm like, there's a couple of things I want to do tonight. I want to run just for the sake of seeing how
run with a weapon.
Definitely want to try the weapons. I couldn't think of 40 different weapons if you.
Yeah.
That includes throwing in like a pistol, So,
Ninja stars,
tonfas, sais, staffs, bows, nunchucks.
Yeah, I did. It was hard to. I might not give everyone a completely unique weapon, because when I was doing it, I was starting to scrape the barrel by, with some of them you think like, should I give them a frying pan or something, but then also I think often just the sword fighting's quite fun, And then when you get into kind of, there's a lot of double weapons in Kung Fu. So if I'm trying to give everyone a different one, then loads of the characters will have double axes or something. So they end up being the same, but really, kind of sword fighting is quite fun.
Yeah, I don't think it's any problem to have for weapons to be repeating.
No,
like you were saying, there's only so many weapons.
I play games where I've got 3 weapons at the most.
Yeah,
and that's just for me. You know? So I mean,
yeah.
But I could do like you get like a sword. It could be a broadsword. I could do a longer, heavier sword. I could do a rapier. Some would go rapier for the Western characters. So then there's 3 things that are all the same technically, just different stats, and make some longer and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I could probably recycle a few into a few different things.
And I know I asked this last time, but any plans of like a co-op? I'm sorry, not a co-op, a create a character or anything? Yeah, I'm sorry. Of a create a character or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got it. It's done behind the scenes, but I haven't launched it because the characters are being redone. I'll need all of the I'll need new 3D models for all the clothes and things like that. So it doesn't make sense for me to make loads of different outfits and things in my old style if they're all going to be replaced anyway. But yes,
it works.
It works, yeah. Here's how it is. You have a character. You pick a head. You pick a skin color. You pick a hairstyle. So it's just swapping out bits. A bit like a kind of Skyrim kind of thing. So there won't be anything like involving adjusting eye sizes or anything, or inner eye folds. You won't be able to tweak any of that. It will be like here's a bunch of heads. Pick one. Pick your skin color. Pick your hair color.
That's more than
pick your clothes. But then the other fun thing, the thing I was exciting about with it is you can record in your own attack moves for that character to use. So you can kind of, so you were saying about all your boxing style, you could record in your jabs, and then your opponent would then come at you with your attack moves. So you can kind of fight against yourself, which is fun.
And can you only make one creative character, or can you make multiple of them?
You can make a bunch of them. My plan was, again, no promises on this. My plan was you could make a whole campaign of them.
That's exactly. That's what I used to do with like the old.
And if people could play against your character, like you could,
if you could share them, yeah. Again, I don't want to promise too much, but yeah, I could imagine an online, like maybe you could have a menu in game, browse characters, and download them.
That's insane. That's insane.
I'm torn on the create a character though. Because when we talked about it, last week, I'm like, I don't think Ben will ever have a create a character because it's disrespectful to the fact that each one of these characters you single-handedly have put together for your own specific reason.
Yeah, but I'm sure that there's 100 people like me in his ear like, can I make my own guy? So I'm sure it's something you've heard 100 times.
I get it.
I think it'll always be.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I would imagine that people in the community might actually contribute some good things that I hadn't thought of. That I often find they do. Even now they've been saying, I'd like to play as this guy from this movie, and they'll show me some 70s kung fu movie that I've not seen, and I think I could put it in. But then if I can just say you can add it and you can put in your own story. Okay, how about this? How about a kind of they could be curated? Maybe people. There could be a kind of central thing of all of them, and then if there's one that seems good to accurate to the lore, we could flag them as a
extended universe.
Extended universe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not shitting on the creative character.
No,
I just feel bad because usually games are, you get a couple of choices of default characters or the random mix, or you legit from the start create the characters. But when you're choosing from, again, somebody's deliberately selected amount, it's if this was like 8 or 9, I'd be like, I don't give two shits. But I'm like, that many characters. I'm like, so much work. But I can't disagree with what you're saying either. So, and would I create a character? Most likely, yes. I probably would.
Not only character, I'm creating enemies for me to fight.
That's you. You're fighting yourself, bro.
Well, I think this is stuff for when you finished the main game, isn't it? That's when you if you've finished and you've played through all the characters and you know them and you think I now need more, then you can make your own.
Oh, you know, it would be so awesome, but rotten at the same time. Would be the only way that unlocks is if you play every single character and have done the full campaign. Then it unlocks the create a character.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is. Yeah. It's probably a harsh run, but welcome to my.
Or I could just make it. You've got to do 100 hours in game. Then I'll unlock it.
Got to put in your time.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm only kidding.
Adds so much replayability to it. I used to do that a lot in old sports games and stuff like that, or even like the old WWE games. Some of the pre-SmackDown versus Raw era and Fight Night Champion and Fight Night Champion would let you do it for boxing games. You could create characters and import them into the career mode, and it added so much of a different flavor to it.
Yeah, because you're making like a 7-foot everything maxed out.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Blowing my mind.
No, it's a good idea. Nobody should listen to me.
Wow, this is insane. I thought that the multiplayer would be it. That's it. I can't imagine what else, but create a character too. Once it's the graphical overhaul, you could say is done.
Is there any talk about 3D printed character models of all the characters?
Right.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? I'd quite like.
Oh my God.
That.
Well, I see the community potential with this, with like, again, tournaments, leagues, all that stuff. Yeah, champions for the this PvP. Is the champ.
Yeah.
Here's the champ. You want to fight him? You got to win a tournament.
Okay. What if you record your guy fighting and theoretically nobody can beat you?
Oh, the AI of it.
Yeah. Like you just put up such a good. So yeah, there's a lot of potential. I'm really liking that idea.
Yeah, I can just see it. It's like you have the Discord champion, and in order to fight the champion, you got to win a tournament, and he only fights tournament winners.
Comes out once a week.
You have announcers. You live stream it on YouTube or something, or live stream it on the Discord. There's so much potential for it.
Yeah, there really is.
Once you add that PvP, that's why, as much as I love the co-op. I can see the potential.
Oh, from a competitive standpoint, it's a no-brainer.
But even then, you could get me as somebody that likes to play with you cooperatively. All right, 2v2 against other people, and I'm in. Let's go. I don't care if I lose. It's still going to be silly fun, So, sheesh.
Well, there's like have you tried the arcade mode in co-op?
I don't think we've done it just me and you, because we've just been chipping away at the campaign so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm pleased that you're playing the campaign, but there is the co-op mode's kind of it's like it is in single player, but there's two of you, so you have just fight waves of opponents. But in a way, you could kind of have. I worry about promising anything. I'm not just disclaimer on all of it, but yeah, you could have like doubles leaderboard. If you see what I mean? So you could go in as a team and try and get to the top of the co-op leaderboard, if you see what I mean. So that would add a competitive element to the co-op play. But yeah, just thinking out loud.
Leaderboards are always good.
Oh, we're screwed. We are screwed. It doesn't end, man. It's so.
No,
this game
I'm
blown
happy.
Away.
I'm happy
blown
for
away.
It because we had a lot of fun playing it before, and this feature has brought us back to it. And I can only imagine there's a handful of other people who, might have shelved it for a while, and now they're excited to play it. And then the new players that are going to play it just because it's got the multiplayer and co-op. So, I mean, it's good to see the excitement buzzing around it.
Yeah. No, this.
And I've yet to find anybody that doesn't like it.
Once they play it, 100%. Yes. Especially anybody that likes those type of combat games, the thrill of the fights or the creeds.
Yeah, but this isn't.
It's its own thing, of course.
You get that shit out of your head. It's a fighting game. That's the only similarity.
Kung Fu fighting.
It's the only Kung Fu fighting.
Kung Fu kick ass for sure. So,
no, man, perfect amount of humor. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
this game is fun.
It's beautiful. So, thank you for joining us, and thank you for getting me even more hyped for Dragon Fist than I thought I was. It's just like that. It doesn't end. There's so much more to come. It's great to see that the team is now a team. Not just you.
It's growing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so, no, it is good. Yeah, I'll give a shout to them. So thanks to Brandon Whalen, Sam, Ian, Alex, Welly, Roberto, Leo, and the marketing guys. Yeah, I think that's actually, sorry if I forgot anyone.
That's a decent. Is everyone working remotely, or are you guys actually?
Yeah. They're all remote. Yeah, mainly in America. Roberto's in the Philippines, and mainly in America. Yeah.
And you're still in the UK?
Yeah, it's the same place. Yeah.
Nice.
I did get to meet some of them at the San Francisco. I went to the GDC and met some of them there, which was nice. Oh, I forgot JL off the list. JL.
Hey Jay, can't forget Jay.
Yeah. So, they're all doing very well. Yeah, and I am excited about these new graphics. Makes it seem a level of professionalism a bit more professional than it was. No.
Well, I'll be of the belief that if you're saying something is good, then I'm going to believe it's good, because I know you can be self-critical of your, like, I can look at some of the shit to be like, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It might be, it needs a little work.
Well, don't worry. I've been agonizing over the art as well. I've been nitpicking them hard. Don't worry.
Someday you'll have to come to Boston and do PAX East.
Yeah, planting the seeds. It runs at the same time as GDC. That seems to be the recurring theme. But I think that as soon as GDC is done, I think that PAX has 1 or 2 more days left. So some people make the GDC to PAX trip.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to think I should see more of them. I've been to San Francisco about 7 times I went first time at GDC for a good 10 years. And, it was great, but it was like, oh yeah, this again. I kind of feel like maybe I should see more of the States. Boston's supposed to be nice.
We're trying to plant the seeds for a good VR turnout for this year for PAX East for sure.
Well, every VR booth at PAX East,
oh my goodness, was swarmed
from open to close.
People loved it.
Yeah, because it's no oversaturation of VR there. So it's like and we're talking some games that are 4 or 5 years out, but they still had people standing in line to try City.
It. Yeah, interesting.
Yep,
so it's very good turnout.
I'll say New England supports these events pretty huge.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
Yeah,
so
love to see someone from the team come down.
Yeah. Definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we blew over an hour, huh?
Oh, easy. I think we can talk with Ben another hour or two, and nor do I think this will be the last time we have Ben on.
Oh my God, no! He's making serious moves here.
So before we let you go, is there anything else that you want to plug that's maybe coming up, or just tell our listeners, where they can join your Discord and follow you on social media for updates and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, I'd say just go to dragonfistvr.com. To get access to or get links to the official Discord, where you can find the playtest, which you can play for free, or if you have the game already, make sure you try updating to the beta version on the Oculus page, and then you get access to multiplayer in the state that it is at the moment. Apart from that, I think that's all I got to plug.
No, definitely appreciate you taking the time today. This was a great interview. Like I said,
I was excited when I knew we were going to be speaking to Ben again.
Yeah, and managed to get me even more hyped.
That's good. You're too kind to me. Make me blush. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure last time. I really enjoyed it last time, and I enjoyed it this time as well. Yeah.
No, glad. It's a great chat, and I can't say enough to any of the listeners. If you like these type of combat games, hell, you can try the multiplayer for free right now. Just go join his Discord.
When we first ever played it, we knew this was a winner.
Oh, absolutely.
It was, and it was you who pushed it hard too. You're like, dude, we got to play this
full body kung fu. Let's go. Come on. That's all.
I was ill prepared.
And then the amount of different characters, the campaign size, and
all the personalities you can be.
And now look, the only 2 things we ever wanted, multiplayer, and I wanted to create a character, both going to be here. ridiculous. I can't see how it will still be on App Lab. I'm going to lose my mind. Be pulling my hair out for you.
I'll bet money on it.
I'm not too worried either way. I kind of, I've always just thought if I can, I can't believe I got this far, to be honest. I'm very, very happy with it. 3 years ago, I, was not doing well. COVID just hit. It was all my career was a bit quiet, and this is all kickstarted it. And now I'm being invited on podcasts with people across the globe. It's great. I've loved it, and and it's going all right. And I hope that even if just multiplayer brings in a few more people, then I'll be content with it. I don't want to get too hung up on the decision of someone in some office somewhere.
So I guess one last thing I got to ask now, because it's come to mind. Then we'll let you go for sure.
Of course.
At this point, is it? Well, who knows, right? Is this your biggest game at this point? Your most successful?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it is. I had some big Flash games back in the day, but this has done better, probably money wise. My Flash games were all free, so of course they had a lot more players. My biggest game was Warlords Call to Arms. It was called, Flash game. That had 200 million players, I think, which is ridiculous. So, of course, Dragon Fist's more, nothing like that. But it's a kind of smaller but more respectful community than those old people back in the day. Not that I've got anything against those people back in the day, or the old people from the old Dragon Fist Flash games. Of course. Some of them are around. They pop up saying, "Oh, you should go back and make another 2D one. Stop messing about with this VR nonsense." But yeah, I think so. So money wise, this is probably my biggest game so far. Yeah. Not that I'm. You can't see that I'm in a castle, can you? No, I'm not in a castle. I'm still in the small house. So I've not got rich yet, but it's going well enough that I'm content,
Yeah. And I got nothing against Flash games. I grew up with them. Loved them.
Flash games were the shit. And based on one's definition of rich, you could say you are. So I am rich, and I'm in a relatively expensive country, and I'm not starving. So I'll always be grateful for that.
Working on the thing you love, clearly passionate about it, never-ending list of self-criticisms, but that's because you're so passionate about it.
Right, yeah, exactly. It is hard work, and it is stressful, but, I've never wished to be working for someone else giving me stress, and hard work. It's nice that, like you say, I can work on my own game and get stressed about that rather than someone else's problems, or the worry of where's next month's bills coming from, because I've had plenty of that over the years. Yeah. No, I don't want to make it sound like I'm loaded. I'm not. But I'm just not starving in a gutter. Yeah.
I only have 3 Bentleys. I'm struggling.
Yeah, that's
here,
right. Yeah.
They're company cars.
Louis Vuitton, I got to cut back on my weekly expenditures.
Yeah,
No. I'd love to see you be able to get a castle, because you obviously get bigger play areas.
Yeah, I could do with the bigger play space. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. Little echoey, but heating bills could be pricey, but it's okay.
At least you can throw full-blown kicks. So,
wheels. You can do spinning kicks.
So we'll let you go for real this time. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ben. This was a great interview. I can't wait to see these, continuing to be worked on, but I'll be playing for sure. So if anybody hasn't yet, go check out Dragon Fist VR. If you enjoy the podcast, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, subscribe on YouTube, check out the Patreon, all that stuff. And we'll check you out next time. Ciao, ciao.
Take care.